All right, glad I saw that. Glad I went to my manual. So this is recording now in case you all need to come back and look at it. You can. So I'm going to go to share screen, go to this one again, share. So for this little manual, it says, please see instructional video. We're recording that now. So, and then for the, when you go to enter some of these stratum cards in, basically go to the folder that's going to be the one you're doing the unit records on, and then change the name to your initials. So in this case, that is this guy right here, MT666, and we're going to rename this guy MBR, just so you all know that somebody's working on that and you don't duplicate efforts. And it'd be best just to do, everybody will have their own card or folder that they do, and then just complete that. And in this case, I'll go ahead and take my name off of this when I'm done with this session right here. So go to the folder, enter your initials, and then what you also want to do after that is go to the bunker unit stratum Google sheet. And if you click on this guy, that's this one right here. And what this has is, oh, this is the wrong one. Sorry. Let me go to, I'll fix this. I've got this in the bunker folder. It's this stratum bunker one right here. I'm gonna get the shareable link here to replace this copy link. Let me fix this. Apply, make sure this works now. Yeah, Unum Strat Bunker. Okay, so you'll click on this one, and this has all the stratum for the bunker. At least it should. It has all the stratum that have inventory numbers, meaning they're all the ones that have samples. There's going to be some cases where you're going to have a stratum that isn't listed here, and you'll simply just insert it, and I'll get to that in a second. But what we're looking for right now is the stratum that we're entering right now is 666A. So go to MT666, and we're just going to skip down to A right here. And here it is. This guy is right here. And let me see if I can split this screen. Take this one over here. If you have an iPad, you could do it that way as well. You could have your iPad with the like the stratum card on it. That's one possibility. That's what I would do, is if you have a pad, or even your phone, you could just have that on this guy. But for this one, we're going to do MT666 stratum A. So we want to make sure it's here. And so there it is, MT666.A. And so this is how we're going to want to enter it into into Arc Pro. And you'll see some fields here. This is the stratum letter. This is what feature number it is, if it's a feature fill. It's from the bunker. These are all the sample inventory numbers. Don't worry about those. The excavation date, the stratum, site stratum, and don't worry about these guys, because these are going to sometimes be different than what's on the card. So for example, right here, this says 8/25/2004, but on the card it's 8/23. That's because this is when the first sample was taken out in the field, and this was started to be excavated on August 23rd. And it might have been a Friday, and then they waited until Monday to actually take a sample. And then the ID, don't worry about that. That's just a unique ID for the database. And for this one, what you want to do is make sure that, this thing that says provenience checked, is make sure what's on the card matches what's on here. And if it all looks good, go ahead and check it. But what you'll also want to do is check to make sure that the photo, this guy right here, is labeled the same way, MT66.A. And if it all looks good, then you can check it. If for some reason that it's different, say like for instance, this was labeled MT666, I don't know, A1, for instance. The best thing to, and all this was labeled like that on the in the Google Drive, all these were labeled A1, you know, both the photos and the cards. The easiest thing to do is just to change this one to A1. And that way you don't have to go back and relabel all these guys, you know, it just go with however this has been labeled. If there's an error, what you'll want to do, something like that, describe how it's been being fixed, is changed from A to A1. And so just put that in there. Does this make sense so far?
Yeah.
Dean, how are you feeling?
I'm absorbing this. So if I'm gonna, when I'm doing this, I have to on my laptop, I'll bring up the stuff that's on the left side. Right, and on my iPad, I'm going to bring up what's on the right side here.
Yeah.
But both of these are in Google Drive. Is that right? So including the what are you calling this thing on the right? This list?
The one on the right.
Unit strat bunker.
Unit strat bunker. It's a Google sheet, and this is.
And if I bring that, how am I going? I'm going to have to find that. Where am I going to find that?
That is in.
It's in Google Drive.
It's in Google Drive, but it's in the this manual, guide for entering.
Oh, it's in the manual. Okay, so if I go into the manual, which you're going to send us, right?
Yeah, I put that in the calendar link, but I'm going to send all this to you all again.
Yeah. So I would. Okay. So I can bring that. I can bring that that stuff up on my iPad by clicking on this instruction sheet, and that will allow me to go in there and make a change, like add an A1 or whatever.
Yeah. I think.
And then, but the cards I'm going to be working on are going to be over. It's going to be on my iPad. It's going to be on what's on the left side here.
On the left side, exactly.
And I'll have to have a split screen between the field document and the new document that we're creating.
Yeah. It's however you want to do that, or you could,
or just go back and forth.
You could go back and forth. It would be where you're going to really want to have the split screen is when you enter this into the map in Arc Online, and that's what I'm going to get to next.
Okay. All right. So all right.
I think for the most part that there's not going to be any errors with these. It's when you get into features that you sometimes have like different nomenclature. But the easiest thing to do is going to be to change this, like the previence here and this guy, rather than going back and changing all the labels.
Yeah. So you're minimizing the change work.
But what you do want to do is you want to put in how you changed it here, because we're going to need to go back to the master database and change things. So this is for errors that this is errors that are, I'm going to errors, say fixed errors. This is for fixed errors. Leave blank and no errors.
So you put a note in there.
Yeah. But if you have something where you have no idea what to do with it, and they go back down to 666A, if you have something you have no idea what to do about, like
That's where questions go. You go to the next one, questions. Right?
Questions for Montpelier staff. So you leave this one blank,
yeah,
and then you fill this and be like, Taylor and Hannah, help. Missing. What do I do?
Yeah.
And then what we'll do is either we could answer the question, or depending on it, you know, Taylor or Hannah or I might just fix it. And then in that case, if they fixed it, what they would do is they would go over here, they would delete this note and go over here and put what they did, and then it's ready to go. If they don't fix it, then they would, leave you a note. And then once you fixed it, then you can go back and delete this note. Just so in the end, like when all this is done, this column will be blank, but this one will have all the fixed errors in it. So, and we can,
Is somebody going to be checking these, like every once in a while, or do I have to let you know that there's a question, that I have a question in there?
Hannah and Taylor and I will get us scheduled together to check this. So I'll probably check it at first because this is my wonky system, and Taylor and Hannah will probably be like, what have you done to us, Matt? So, but Hannah's agreeing and Taylor is too. So, and I haven't had a chance to talk with Taylor and Hannah about this. So sorry, Taylor and Hannah. So this is like first off the block. This is just my bad and being crazy. So, but we can talk about this. You're like, yeah, great. Talk about it after. So, but I'll track these errors at first, and if there's modifications to the system, what I'll do is I'll put this into the guide for entering unit strat. So
yeah, if you could make the guide as complete as possible. I mean, I'll start by reading that through, and going through that, and just to refresh my memory on what's going on here.
Okay, cool.
That would help if
Yeah.
I would, yeah. So, okay.
So once you have the once you've gone through the Google sheet and you've checked the provenances off the Google sheet, then what you'll want to do is go to your the bunker data entry, and that's the link that's in the the calendar invite, and I'll send it as an email. And let me make this a split screen right here. Bring this guy over here and bring the Stratum A card up. And so what you'll notice here when you zoom out, when you click on the link, this map will come up. Here's the basement. Here's the portico. This gray outline is the old DuPont mansion. And that's relevant here because when you go to the bunker, you can see that like this drain pipe right here, which is on the exterior of the mansion, is actually encapsulated within the drip line of the main house, because the drip line extends out from where the foundation is. The foundation is running along here for the old DuPont house. And unit 666 is right here. If you want to find a unit, because there's like a whole bunch of these units here, what you can do is if you click on this question mark, you can put in 666 and hit enter, and it shows you where the unit is. So you can find the unit. And what this form is right here is this basically is a really basic screen that allows you to do data entry. It allows you to enter all this stuff in. And if you want, when you're ready to enter one of these cards, all you have to do is go up here and click on this green polygon, like so. And then when you go back to the map, it'll say click to start drawing. And in the case of Stratum A, what you're going to do is before you get the form to come up to enter all this stuff in, you're going to need to enter in the polygon, basically the size of what the stratum is. In a lot of cases, the area that was excavated is going to be the whole 5x5. In this case, it's actually a portion of the 5x5 which is shaded. So you all can see that. And so what you're going to want to do is, to the best of your ability, is basically draw in that portion. And unfortunately, with the online version of Arc Pro, you can't zoom in very far. And so just do the best you can to draw this in. We can always, if there's layers that we want to go back in detail, we can always go back and edit these. But what you'll notice is that when you, before you click and start drawing, if you press the control key, you get this, I don't know if you can see it, you probably need like a magnifying glass, but see how that blue, a blue thing appears? This allows you to lock on lines. And so when you do this and you start clicking, it locks. It won't go in the middle here, like up here. No, when you hold the control key down and you move over here, when you get to a corner, you can click there. So I've clicked with the mouse, and then I'm going to go up to about right here, because when you look at this guy right here, it's about like 2/3 of the unit, which is about right here. I'm going to click right here. I'm going to click with my mouse over here and then click right here. And then when you're done, you double click and you get a polygon. And I'm going to have you all play with this, and we can always go back and delete ones that get messed up. I can help you all out with that. And Kathy and Dean, if y'all ever want to practice on this, we could do another Zoom session. You know, just do some practice things on this, and we'll have like the next week be polygons you make that can be destroyed. And because this, so Hannah and Taylor, so you all know, this feature class is a whole new feature class. This is one that's just specific to the bunker. And I've brought over, just as examples, some of the stuff that you all did in the cellar, but it's a whole different feature class that can be basically kept separate and cleaned up very easily if necessary.
Cool.
So,
Awesome.
So right now what we've got is this polygon basically represents this stratum A right here. And as soon as you double click and this creates this blue polygon, what you get is this form right here that you can click edit on, and then all of a sudden you can start entering in information. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to type in unit 666. We're going to type in stratum A, capital A. And for the feature, there's no feature on here. There's no feature designated. The project is straight from this. It's bunker area. So just type in bunker area. The site is OR249. That's a drop-down menu. So that can be left alone. The area is going to be bunker. That's another drop-down menu. And then the location, don't worry about the location. The bunker didn't have any locations. And then for northing and easting, this is the horizontal location. And what I need to complete doing is actually, you can, I'm going to put clues. Like when you hover, I'm going to make sure that all these fields have clues. When you hover on the fields, there's going to be these clues that pop up here. And I need to complete this for this form. But for the northing and easting, this comes from the horizontal location, and this is north 567.5, and then the easting is 807.5. So enter that in. So 567.5, and then the easting is 807.5. And then the datum northing and easting, this comes from what's below, which is datum, which is the northeast corner. And that's why there's this triangle right here. That's where all the elevations are taken from. You know, when you're in a unit and you do your string heights, this is where this is coming from. So the datum elevation is north 567.5, and then the datum easting is 807.5. And then this is, the opening is the date. And for some reason, these also have times. We're not going to worry about times, but the date is going to be from this right here, which is 8/23/04. So 8/23/2004. And then the excavator, these are the initials. So that's from this form down here, the excavator right here. You all can see that. JCE WCS. Looks like there's a whole bunch of people here. JCE, comma, WCS. And I've just been having Hannah and Taylor put in exactly what's on the form. So in this case, it was comma JCE, WCS, and then there's a slash and KML, and then a slash SCF. And then the recorders, which is right here, this is WCS, WCS, and then SCF. So that was Steve Fonzo and Bill Sanderson. And then the supervisor is that whoever checked it, which is CTC, Tom Chapman. And then finally, we get into some of the interesting stuff. So the interpretation is from this line right here, interp, right here, 20th century topsoil, site stratum number 269. And just put that in directly, 20th century topsoil, and then site stratum number 269. And then the discussion is I'm gonna inverse this because there's parts of this discussion. This comes from stratigraphic definition. So when you look right here, this pop-up comes up that says taken from the first part of the stratigraphic definition minus the Munsell numbers. So for this one, this is the strata definition. This says, beneath O, removed a layer of reddish brown silt loam mottled with 5% yellowish red, 5YR46 silty clay, and 3% brick inclusions. And then it says, down to. So you just type that in directly. So you put in beneath O, removed a layer of reddish brown silt loam mottled with 5% yellowish, red, 5YR4/6 silty clay, and %3 brick inclusions. And that this was strat A. And then that's all you put under the discussion. And then where the first Munsell color, which is the primary one, goes, is you could skip a line down here down to color, and it'll be the color on this one is a reddish brown. So there's reddish brown. The hue is the first part of the Munsell color, which is the 5YR, and then the chroma is 4/4. And that's why I left that out of this part beneath, because it would be duplicate information. The excavation type on this one is, for the most part, it's going to be stratigraphic. The only time there's arbitrary is if you have an A1 or A2, and a lot of times that'll be listed on here as whether it is. And if you have doubts, just put stratigraphic. And then for the physical above, this is what was above the layer A. And you can see in the description that was layer 0. So you just put 0. And then what was physically below is layer, says down to stratum B. And so you put stratum B there. compaction is often not going to be in this. I'm going to remove that from this one. I just realized that is not going to be here. Texture comes from, you know, this main description where you have the silty loam. So this one is a silty loam. That's in this main description right here. And in some cases, you know, you get more than one color and more than one description or texture description. Use the first one that's available because that's the primary one. And then stone inclusions and brick inclusions, that comes out of the description. In this case, there were no stone inclusions described, but there were brick inclusions. So you could, there were architectural inclusions, and that's the 3% brick. And brick is either brick or mortar. Does that make sense? And what I'm realizing, what might be helpful for you all to read before doing this, I just thought of this, is the guide to stratigraphy that we've got. And I'll send a link to that. And then sediment inclusions, I don't see anything for sediment inclusions. That's like charred brick or sand or anything like that. I don't see anything like that. The thickness is going to be how thick this is, and that's the difference between your opening and the closing elevations. So in this case, this varied from like 0.86 to 0.90. That's 0.4 feet to all the way up to like 0.11 feet. And so you can just look at these numbers and see what the difference is. In this case, this went down a tenth. The greatest difference I see here is like 0.13, the difference between these numbers right here. So it's a range and it's an estimate. And so for the thickness, this is a range of like 0.04 to that's about 1.12. So this is a pretty thin layer. And you can tell that from your opening and your closing elevations.
You lost me there, Matt. So how do you translate all those numbers to feet? I don't get it.
These are all in tenths of feet, how we measure in the field.
Okay.
And what you can do is just, you subtract this number from this number, like 0.90 minus 0.86 is 0.4. And then you might just make some notes on this, like on a scrap piece of paper, and then pick the least number, the least difference in thickness to the greatest thickness, and use that as your range.
Okay.
So like this one is.
So like again, like the 0.84 and going to 1.04 would be the largest range there, because it's whatever, it's like a 0.2 difference.
Yeah, the biggest one is, yeah, this one, 0.84 to 1.04.
Okay, I get that, but then how does that translate to,
Oh, I made a mistake. That should be 0.2. And that's why if I was doing this, I would write all this down. Is, just on a piece of scrap paper, do some calculations.
Okay, so where did you, I could see where you get the 0.2 to the end. But we started at, where did you get the 0.04?
That one is 0.90 minus 0.86.
Oh, I see. So first find the smallest and subtract the difference to get the first number, and then find the largest range to get the second number. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Wait a minute, I gotta make a note here. All right.
I just got a text from Hannah and Taylor. They said they're going to send you all the strat guide, and that's for our modern stratum forms. After you go through this a little bit and do some practice sessions, when you read that, it's going to help a lot. Like, this is the thing, when you came on an expedition, we sent you like 30 things to read, and one of them was the strat guide, and you probably looked at it and you're like, what in the world is this?
Yeah.
This is a nightmare. After this, you'll have a new appreciation for the stratum guide. You'll be like, whoa, this is where this is coming from. And what you'll see in the stratum guide is our modern forms are a lot more inclusive than these old strat cards. And so we've had to adapt, you know, this form that you see in Art Pro to the old ones. And so there's a little, because we want to have the same form for everything in Art Pro. And so I've adapted this down. I've stripped a lot of the things that were recorded today out of this form to make it applicable to this card right here that was used before 2008. So I know, Dean, you've probably seen the stratum sheets filled out before. Kathy, have you seen those filled out before?
No, I mean, not except for working on them, but no, I've not seen them actually been filling out on a dig. No.
All right, well, this will make you want to come on a dig even more then, because to actually come on a dig and see this process in action would be pretty cool. You'd be able to see how all this works. So
I have another question. Like, when you were filling out the stratigraphic definition, so you just stopped where it said strata in parentheses because you didn't continue with the next two lines of information. Is that correct then?
yeah, that is this stratigraphic definition, the part that says beneath O,
Right.
removed a layer. All this is describing what layer A is.
And so that's what you
point that it says down to, and then the rest of this goes into, and I'm going to move this one up in this form because I realized it'd be better to move it up. It goes into the transition description.
Oh, okay, now it makes sense. Sure, because now you go down to, yeah. All right.
Yeah, so the transition description right here, this is where you type in down to, just straight out of this, brown 7.5 YR 4/4 sandy loam
With
80% plaster and mortar.
Could you just put your arrow on where that's coming off the card? It's so small, I can barely
Oh
see.
yeah, it's right here. So let me see if
Okay, got you.
So it's right here, and then
Yes.
and a reddish brown. Let's see, go to the end here, and a reddish brown 5YR 4/3 silty loam along east wall. And then what else does this say? And pea gravel removed with shovel down to a layer of 7.5 YR along the western wall. Photo is of closing O. That is, you can just include this in this as well. It'll all come out in the wash. Just whatever is in here, just put on the rest of this. Pea gravel removed with shovel down to a layer of 7.5 YR 5/4 brown clay along the western wall. Photo is closing of O.
So you want to get really everything off the field card that you and onto the digital card.
Yeah.
You really, I mean, you know, what you're basically, you're finding a place on the digital card for all this information that's on the field card somehow or other.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes there'll be extraneous notes like Matt came in with a jackhammer and destroyed the unit. That could go under notes. So if there's anything weird on the card, it's just
goes in notes.
Anything that's left goes in notes. So
Okay.
like technically, I'm going to put 8/25/04 on back of card.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just so it's there, you know.
Oh, this just noting this date. That's this random date that's down here.
The random date. Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe it's not random, but anyway, it's down there.
It's
It's
down
not.
there.
It's off the card. I see.
So, and then the screening type is, if you look up here, it says screen is circled 1/4 inch. So you just draw 1/4 inch. That's where that comes from. If there's anything bizarre, then you'd put that into notes. That's where it says others, see notes. So draw 1/4 inch. And this right here, this is, you know, how the unit was excavated, the percentage that was excavated by trowel, shovel, mattock, small tools. In this case, it looks like it's all was done by trowel, so that's 100%.
How do you know that?
Because there's no, it just trowel is circled.
Oh, that's up there.
Oh, trowel is circled somewhere?
Yeah. I see.
Yeah, it's up here. Yeah.
Oh,
Excavated
sorry.
with trowel.
What's the other ones? EN.
Entrenching tool, hoe, shovel,
Pick. Okay.
yeah. And there's also, what's going to be in here is, I need to add this to it, is there's going to be the jackhammer, and I would put that as small tools. I'll put a clue on small tools to be jackhammer, even though that is not small tool. So I'll put that as a.
You're just looking for a place to put it.
Just looking for a place. And what you can put is, you can also put that under notes as well. You know, that if it's something that says jackhammer, anything bizarre, put in notes. Anything it's just like you don't know what to do with, just stick it in the notes, and that'll record it. And then you'll notice under artifacts, the only thing we put under artifacts is anything unusual, because to type all this stuff out is just, you know, going to be probably, it's not useful information. The only thing we want to use artifact notes for is if we needed to find an artifact bag. And so when you look at this stuff, it says wheeled and transfer print, bathroom tile, arc mat, terracotta pipe, nails, barbed wire. If you know, it might be easiest to, because you all are probably going to know what is going to be bizarre. Is just go ahead and put it all in there.
In notes.
In notes.
And put it, yeah, okay.
Yeah, just go ahead and put it all in there. So this would be Wheelden, transfer print, bathroom tile.
Oh, wait a minute. That says artifact. It's artifact notes.
Oh, yeah, under artifact notes.
Okay, not notes, but artifact notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Terracotta.
I just saw that.
Cut nails, barbed wire. Bone and green bottle glass. And then this next one is the actual inventory numbers. And Artifacts are what is dry quarter inch. Artifacts and dry quarter inch are both the same thing. So in this case, artifacts right here, and I'll put a clue on that, otherwise called artifacts. I'll have this come up instead of just saying inventory number. I'll say often called artifacts. This one, you'll look over here, bag numbers 3878, or that's 3898. Let me zoom in on this.
Okay, so
3898. So this guy is 3898. And then the H2O water screen is down here, which is H2O news. This one right here, H2O window screen, is 3899. And almost all these, the H2O no-seum is something that we developed. I'll see if there's any of these H2O no-seums, NSUs, but if it doesn't say anything, if it's just H2O screen, that means it's the WS water screen. So that's 3899. And these are the only inventory numbers that are on here, like these bag numbers. So that's all that's there. And all these guys from dry quarter inch all the way down to conserve, these are all inventory numbers. That's where you see the clue here. It says inventory number. That's
but they're bag numbers. So these would all be, if there was a number for all these, they would be listed under bag numbers.
Yeah, they'd be listed under bag numbers, exactly.
Could the clue be bag number instead?
Oh yeah, I'll put that. Yeah, that would be.
You know, it's like you're looking for another inventory number, but if that's what it's on the form is a bag number.
I'll put bag number. Yeah, I'll change it to bag number.
Thank you.
That's helpful because this form right here is completely specific to the bunker. It's completely specific to the bunker.
Okay.
And then opening photo. I'm going to take in the unit form and these guys right here. You notice this says URL. These are going to be, you don't need to worry about these. Don't need to worry about entering these. I'm going to take these off because these are going to be the URLs from all the files that you all relabeled.
Okay.
So, and I'll just take those guys off because it's just extraneous, you know, things that you don't need to enter. URLs. So this is helpful to do this. And then that's it. When you get down to this point, it's all, that one's all done. And so, you know, when you click on this guy,
so we're gonna fill out every line of that data entry form unless the data don't exist.
Unless the data
on the card.
Yeah, yeah. And what in the world? Just
because you're going to take off stuff we don't need to worry about.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna type in like the exact process for getting doing this stuff. Let me see.
Okay.
For some reason, it didn't save any of that stuff.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
No.
Uh-oh.
Just so annoying. I'm gonna redo this.
That could be a problem.
You could just put abbreviation, just start and lots of dots.
Yeah.
How do you save it? I mean, it should save by itself, right?
It should save by itself. Once you make this polygon, this is happening.
It didn't save the polygon either, did it?
No, it saved the polygon. You can see the polygon right there.
Okay.
Is probably the best thing to do. I remember this now. is when you're entering this, start with like entering your unit and stratum letter. And we'll do the project, which is bunker area from up there, bunker area.
Yeah.
And click off it. And just make
So
sure,
then check it,
and then check it. Yeah.
see, make sure it's still there.
Make sure it's still there.
Okay.
That's pretty annoying. And then once it's still there, go back
Okay.
and click into it. I'm gonna reset this form. Let's see. I'm gonna hit reset here to make sure it's still there. It's still there, and when I click on this guy, yeah, it allows you to go in and edit it and change all this stuff. So this that's the form. I'll go in and edit some of these fields to pare them down. And what I would suggest is that for just the beginning of this is Kathy and Dean, why don't you all just pick a unit? Huh?
Just try one.
Try a unit. Pick a unit. One of you all could be this devil 666. Somebody else could do 667, and just try it out. Don't worry about getting it right. You're not going to hurt anything. We can always go and edit the data. Is just try it out. Read the strat guide that Hannah and Taylor sent to you all, and I'll send this in an email as well.
Okay.
And
Okay, which one do you want, Kathy?
Well, you know, unfortunately, if I take 666, I'm making notes and I'm cheating. So, yeah.
Oh, that doesn't matter. It's just getting it to work.
Every layer is different, Kathy. You will see. Zero.
I'll take 667 because I need to see it.
You want to do 667?
Yeah, I'm going to take
All
667.
right, I'll do.
You can take what?
It may be a couple of days before I get around to doing this. I got a bunch of other stuff I got to do.
Yeah.
And Kathy, just so you know, it's taking a while to come up here. I'm going to go to 667 and show you something.
Which word? Give me the highlights of what's to look for in that one.
Yeah, 667 is. Why is it doing this? It's having problems with life.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
It's going to come up in a second.
Yeah.
But 667 is a unit that we excavated with a jackhammer.
Okay. So
I happened to look at 667, and it was even worse than 666. So it doesn't. The overlying strata is recorded as site stratum. And why is it doing this? There we go. 667. Let's look at this one. The first card is layer A. There's no O. And when you look at this, you say you put in not sure how to name, because this one is just.
Oh, that's because it had the URA.
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of just told didn't know how to do it, what to do it. That was special. Those were special things.
Yeah, we just labeled this one A. This one is going to have almost nothing in the card.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because there's nothing in the openings, and so. But then for 667, there's A, and how many others? A, B. You know, is this one just have a B? You know, things like that.
This one just has B. Basically, what happened with 666 is, if you remember from my bunker lecture, we removed about, probably in this layer A consists of 1, 2, 3 different layers that are about 2 feet thick. We removed all that with a jackhammer. And then we got down to the buried 18th century topsoil. And so layer B will have, you know, below unit removal strat A, removed a layer of dark brown, down to site stratum 252, which is subsoil. So this layer B will have a more
to work with there.
to work with there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But layer A, you know, just try to fill out what you can, and some of these ones that were removed from the jackhammer, there's not going to be much to fill in the card, and that's going to be accurate. So, but again, one of the most important things though is to make sure that you know, whatever you're entering into your like your unit and stratum matches what's on the card, but then that also matches what's in the this Google table.
Okay, and now, and looking at this one now, Matt, where so on the, it starts in strat B and then it butts up to the feature 331. So on the card I would fill out where there's a feature line, would that be where the feature F331 would go?
No, stratum B is not the feature.
I know, yes, but I'm saying on your card that we're filling out, one of the fields is a feature. So what would be, you know, so so if I'm working in strat this card here.
Yeah, in strat B.
Okay, so in the forms that we're filling out, one of the fields is a feature. And so if there was a feature, we're not going to work, well, so what would the feature be if I had to put a feature in that field?
The only time you fill out the feature field is if F is listed under stratum. So where my cursor is right here, it says stratum B.
Yeah.
Let me find an example.
So it'd be a strat B with a feature added to it then.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like this one right here.
Yeah.
Is F331A. This one for
667. Yeah, 667. But that's just feature. That's not it's not B and then a stratum. It's just the stratum.
Yeah, that one gets you put under feature, you put 331 without the stratum, but under the stratum you put F331A. You put this. So if we go to the card here, and go to, so for this one right here, if we were filling this out,
yeah,
the unit would be 667, and then the stratum would be F331A. And then the feature would be 331.
Okay. So the stratum would be F331A and the feature would be F331.
Yeah. So it basically is what appears in this oh shoot. It's what appears in this Google form. Let me bring all this back. So in the Google form, and unfortunately, Kathy, this one it's for MT668. This is one that is an error. Of course, I'd find one that's an error.
I'd rather see the errors. And then so it's like, so here, because it's in the card, it should be 667. So look to see if it by mistake is in another one.
Yeah, this one is, let me pull this. Let's get the card for what we're looking at right here. Let's look at the inventory numbers. This inventory number is, bag numbers is 5724. And I don't see a 5724 here. Let me see on. You have to open this up a little bit more. Oh, good gracious almighty. How many samples are on this one? Okay, so I want to say that 5724 is not on here, but I'm going to do a search for this. Control F, wildcard. This is a problem I'm going to have to fix because this gets into some heinous information. 5724 isn't on here. So this is a case where this is important information that was never recorded. Like the bag number is not in the database. And this stratum, MT667, isn't here. So this is where I'm just gonna do this right now. I'm gonna insert, row below, a row above, insert row above, and I'm going to do, oh shoot, I hate, they always get, insert row below. Okay, there it is. So this is 667. This is something I would fix. You would just be like,
Put it in the questions. Put it in a question.
here's the question. I have no idea what to do. This is a nightmare. MT 667 dot F331A. That's the provenience. And then F331A. And then the feature is 331. This is bunker. And then this one is 5724. This is here somewhere. This has to be somewhere. Let me see. 5724. Where did that go?
Oh.
You probably shouldn't look at this because I'm losing my mind right here. 5724 dry quarter. Oh, here it is right here.
Yeah, it's up there.
Oh, it all got erased. See, it has no information with it. There's 331.
Yeah. Just needs to fill, just needs to have the information put in.
This has to have the information. All right. So this is actually correcting something good. This is actually being really useful for science because 12/15/2004, and then I don't know what the site strata number. This does not have an ID. This one is just was not present. Need to add to database. So this will be a note that I'll use later to add this to the master database to access. So this is Murphy's Law. The one that I show you is the one that is the hugest nightmare. So
why not find them early on?
This is like whenever I go in the lab and pull out an artifact bag. It's missing from the inventory system. It's not cataloged. And Mary's like, get out of my lab. You're finding all the errors. And there's only one of them and you found it. So, so we did fix something here. And now this is here, but I don't know. Here's the card and here's the photograph of the feature after it was excavated right there. And this is all labeled correctly, 667 F331.A. And now what I can do is I'm going to check off this because its provenience is checked.
Okay.
But of course, this will need to be entered. Actually, I'm not going to do this yet because I haven't entered it. I'm going to leave it off. And I'm going to leave this one off too because Art Pro ate that one. I never entered it.
Yeah, right.
So.
Right.
But this one, I do want to put this note because it was not present, need to add to the database. So you didn't have to ask a question about that. We did it all right here. So, and it looks like there's another one I'm gonna have to look up as well. This one right here, this one right here, there's something going on with this one. I gotta find that one, what's going on with that one. This is 331. I'll have to look and find out where that one is. It doesn't have any provenience at all. So interesting. So yeah. So yeah, I would say I'm gonna see if there's actually a strat guide for. I don't think there's a strat guide written in 2008. But I'm going to try to see if there was one written because that would be really helpful for you all. I think Mark was thinking about writing it. Mark Trickett was at this time, and he wrote it in 2005. So let me go back and see if I can find an old strat guide. And if I can, that will relate to these cards, I'll send it to you all.
Yeah, because it'd be like even just trying to, the problem I see is trying to read some of the writing, and that's and I don't know what some of the words actually are meaning, you know, so if you see an you know, even though we're just typing exactly what we're seeing, but sometimes it's difficult to figure out what some of the letters are.
Yeah, yeah.
And so if you had a little, I have a little more knowledge of what these possible things that are being abbreviated could possibly be. Is it an O or an A? Or it gives me a lead. Also, you know, trying to see the initials of who are doing the recording. You know, maybe know these people, but again, is that a K or an O like that on the one you did? I don't know where you saw it, CTC, but you know, it's like, what are those things? So, you know, I'm looking at things that would be difficult, you know, for you know, sometime, not on that one, but in the previous one you did of going like, what is that? You know, other things. So hopefully with a little more knowledge, we might be able to see what some of these abbreviations might be to read. So
Yeah, yeah.
also another question on the strat card, there's other records, and this one, the one you have up, has plan. Was that a field to put in other records? I don't remember that, but
No, there's not. There's no field.
okay, so that's one of the few fields on the strat card that actually doesn't translate to anything on the new form.
It doesn't translate to anything on the new form, no.
Okay, because I'm going to start marking up these strat cards with my little cheat sheet, so we know when I start working on them, so I know what exactly translates to where, you know, and
Yeah.
okay, so just thought I'd ask that in case there was supposed to be a plan somewhere. Okay.
And the same with photographs. I'm going to take that photograph doesn't have anything. I mean, that's from the days when they used to have the exposure number. And then we moved to the digital camera in 2004, and everything was just written digital. So that's just redundant information.
Okay. So, all right. Also, I'm not quite sure about looking at the outline of the strata there to figure out how it translates where we do the little polygon kind of thing. In this case, you know, it's like, what would you do with on this one, Matt? So it's like half of it. It goes up to, this is just B, or?
You can't do any curves, right? So you just have to go.
Let's go to the form here. And
yeah, I'm seeing like the other one was oriented a different way from
I'm going
this
to search for unit 667. There it is right there. And there's no feature here. And this north arrow right here, north is this way.
Okay.
North is this way. So this right here, I'm going to draw it in the best I can. So this is 667 right here. I'm going to create a new guy, and I'm going to, you know, hold the control key down to get this corner and this corner, and then I'm going to let go of the control key, and I'm just going to go up to about right here and just draw this the best that I can, like so.
Okay, so.
Oh, so you can do that. Okay.
Yeah, you can make.
You can do a curve.
You can do a curve.
Okay.
And this one is unit 667. This is stratum B, and there's no feature number. The project is Mansion Bunker.
Are we calling it mansion bunker or just bunker? What do we want? Because this. Oh, I hear. We do whatever's up there. So in this case.
Whatever is right there. Yeah, you just
Okay,
do a
so
literal.
whatever the project is on there. So this way, mansion. Gotcha. Okay.
And then area is bunker.
Yeah.
Location, the northing again. This is 567.5, and then 812.5. And then before I go too much further on this, I'm going to click out of this.
Yeah. Save it.
Just see if it is saving it.
Okay.
I don't
No. I didn't like it.
So just enter it again. Just do when you do this, enter the first couple letters.
Okay. All right.
Okay, now it's holding. I don't know why it's doing that. Mansion, bunker.
Okay. All right.
Anna or Taylor, do you know why it does that? Like,
They logged off.
Sometimes when I entered that
Oh,
first
yeah.
one, the first one it spent 20 minutes entering. When I clicked out of it and I went back into it, it didn't save any of the information, but now it's saving it. It's just weird art online stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, because normally when we're doing IMLS data entry, it's an Arc Pro, and it's kind of just a different workflow than online.
Yeah. So once it saves, it looks like it continues to save. So just enter in a couple of things at first.
Okay, sure.
And then you can click on it and it'll go back and allow you to do it. So 567.5 and 812.5. So it looks like it's saving it. So yeah, just go through and enter it all. And but yeah, do some practice runs with this.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
what I want to make sure that this works on your all's computer, and then I'll send you all an email with all the information.
Okay.
All the links. And I'll try to look for that earlier strat guide. But I'm actually going to have to dash off the line here. I've got a recommendation form I got to send by noon, and then we've got the lunch and learn with Heather today. So I need to get that done before noon. So if I get Joby's recommendation form in before noon, I'll send this stuff to you all beforehand. Otherwise, I'll do
no rush on our part, Matt.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and Matt, just one thing. I'm going to be using Paula's laptop, to work. So she would need, I guess she needs access to this.
Yeah, I think everybody can have access to this.
Okay, so that's not going to be a problem.
That shouldn't be a problem. And
okay,
Paula's already on the Google Drive.
Yeah, she's on the Google Drive, so should be all right. Okay.
This is all public. So if you share this with anybody, tell them not to delete stuff, because you can go through and delete things. Whatever work you have done can be deleted here, so that'd be bad.
Okay.
And you can experiment with all this stuff. Like this up here is delete. Like if you highlight something and then you hit X, it goes away. Or if you go down here and hit delete, it also goes away, and that's permanent. You can't bring it back. So
yeah, okay.
that means if you draw something, like if I draw something like this and I want to delete it, I can X out of it and it goes away. So you play, have fun. Just
Thank you,
click on this.
Yeah. Just don't push the delete button.
Yeah, don't push the delete button unless you really want to delete. Like in this,
stay away from the delete button.
This one right here, I want to delete this one, so I'm going to delete it. So,
okay.
But play around. You can't break anything. That's the nice thing about this being, its own set of data. Like even the data up here, like these guys, it's all extra data. I could delete it if I wanted to, so I'll delete that one. It doesn't matter. So this is all stuff that Hannah and Taylor did, but it's a copy of what they did. And so you can look at these for some examples as well. So this is stuff that Hannah and Taylor did.
Mm-hmm.
You can look
at that'd be helpful.
To see.
Do a search on Unit 982 and see what they did. And this one, of course, you've got actually have the photos that are in the URL links. Yeah, so that's why I left those in there, because it's just, you can actually look at this. So actually, that's a good way to do it, to see what Hannah and Taylor did, is you can just go to these guys and actually click on the link for the unit form, and it's right there. So you can compare this.
I can create my little template for myself using that. So
yeah, so definitely check it out.
You and me with finding. Sounds like a good plan. Thank you. That's a good idea. Okay.
And in this case, they didn't enter in the inventory numbers, but I'm gonna have you all enter that stuff in. So.
Okay, you can fill in other fields. So they're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So
Sounds
cool.
good.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we'll jump into it.
Okay, looks like Hannah and Taylor are having a good time out there, so I'll let them go. So,
okay.
But just from the Zoom call. Thanks for coming in, Hannah and Taylor. So, and,
bye guys.
Kathy, we'll see you all in a little bit at the lunch.
Well, I'm not lunching today. I have something else I have to do, so
okay.
I'm passing on that. Okay.
And
okay.
I'm gonna record. I'm gonna stop screen share. I'm going to save this and I'll send you the link to this recording as well.
Great. Yeah, that'd be good.
All the fun we had for an hour and a half.
Okay.
All right. Bye, you all.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.